Is he a legitimate boxer?
A legitimate boxer, yes. People mocked me when I was saying that before, but now I think people are coming around. And the way I look at it, I say, if this kid was not a YouTuber, if he wasn't some guy that you knew from the time he was like 16 years old on YouTube, and you just saw him box, and you saw him knock out former UFC champions, you saw him beat legitimate boxers, or beat athletes, and beat a bunch of MMA fighters, you'd go, this kid can fight. He knows how to fight.
Buckle up, because the rules are officially out for Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. And trust me, this fight is gearing up to be an absolute spectacle. Now, I've got some wild takes on who's going to walk away with the win. But before we get there, let's break down every juicy rule and see why this is bound to be way more intense than we thought. Oh, and stick around, because I'm calling it right now. This one's ending with a knockout. And I'll tell you exactly who's going to deliver it. So here's the rundown. Knockouts are on the table, no playing it safe here. This is a fully sanctioned pro boxing match, meaning that every punch, every dodge, every move will go down on both their records. That's right. Every second in that ring counts as much as any title fight for these two. 8 rounds, 2 minutes each. Now, you might be thinking, 2 minutes? That's a breeze. But let me tell you, no, it's not. Back when I boxed at the Olympic level, we had 2-minute rounds, and 4 of those rounds felt like an eternity. You're out there giving 100% the whole time, and 2-minute rounds mean the pace is lightning fast, and you've got to bring intensity from the start. So this round length actually favors Tyson in a big way. He doesn't have the gas tank he had in his heyday, but what he does still have is explosive power in short bursts, and that's all he needs here. Let's talk gloves. These guys will be throwing down with 14-ounce gloves. Now, I can already hear some people grumbling. 14-ounce gloves? That's practically sparring gear. Where's the challenge? But hold up, it's not what it sounds like. A regular heavyweight fight glove is around 10 ounces. So yes, these are a bit heavier, but we're talking a 4-ounce difference. To put that in perspective, a standard deck of cards is about 4 ounces. Imagine that difference on Tyson's hand when he's throwing a punch. Not a huge change, right?
Canelo, Mayweather, when you see something like the Jake Paul and the Mike Tyson thing coming up right now, I've heard you make comments about it already, and I even remember your interview with Jake. Matter of fact, if you have that clip, Rob, and I love the way you're doing it, and you know what I love about this clip? Well, let me first have the audience watch this. This is Eddie. You're telling Jake he's average, and you're trying to tell him that, trust me telling you you're average is a compliment, and he's having a hard time with it. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
In 1 minute, how do you even assess how good I was?
Well, because I said I didn't know. And actually,
but you called me average after 1 minute.
Average.
But you called me after 1 minute of my first professional fight?
No, but you're still average. You're not.
And if you've ever watched Tyson throw down, you know those hands have the power of a freight train regardless. A little extra padding isn't going to save you if he lands a solid shot. And the best part? No headgear. So it's going to be just as intense as any other heavyweight fight you've seen. Honestly, if you thought this would be some celebrity gimmick match, think again. This is real. Gloves off. Metaphorically. And anything can happen in that ring. Now, who do I think has the edge? Initially, I won't lie, I thought Jake Paul had this. I mean, let's look at Tyson's life over the last few years. The man was seen in a wheelchair, relaxing, living that retired life. And just when everyone thought he was done with boxing for good, he's back. Not to mention, he's been all about those shroom trips and good vibes, not exactly training camp behavior. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has been pushing himself like a machine, going toe-to-toe with some big names, and you can't deny he's been taking his training and his fight career seriously. He's young, focused, and honestly, he's built a reputation for surprising everyone in the ring. So, at first, I thought Jake had this in the bag. But then, and here's the kicker, I saw Tyson's latest training videos. And let me tell you, Tyson is looking like he just rolled back the years. This man is moving with that same terrifying speed and accuracy that put him on top in his prime. He's back with that Iron Mike aggression, slipping punches, moving in close, and just unleashing raw power. And with 2-minute rounds, that's almost tailor-made for him to let loose. Tyson's going to be charging in, landing his shots, and taking full advantage of his explosive style. Plus, this is heavyweight, Jake's first fight in the big leagues. And there's just something different about taking a punch from a true heavyweight. They're not just big hits, they're game changers. You feel that power in every jab, every cross, every hook. Even seasoned fighters admit it's on another level, and I don't know if Jake's prepared for that.
By the way, breaking news just came in right now from ESPN. Rob, if you want to pull this up, did you see this or no? Breaking news from ESPN just right now. Jake Paul is set to fight Mike Tyson July 20th.
Swear to God.
Yep.
Pull it up. Right now, ESPN.
Look at that.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson set for July 20th on Netflix.
Wow. On Netflix.
On Netflix.
Chael, can I who's favored in that fight?
Because I saw your podcast where you were talking about, was it Canelo?
Yes.
And how they're talking crap. They don't want to fight him. He's diluting the sport. The guy's bringing the most eyeballs to the sport. Absolutely. He's saving boxing. Question, Chael, this fight, is there a conversation beforehand with like a mic, with a Tyson, like, hey, don't kill this guy? Is that conversation had, or is it go for it?
It wouldn't be that clear. They would use a different language, such as instead of calling it a fight, I actually don't see the word fight. They're doing this new thing where they call it exhibition.
Exhibition,
and
right.
The government, fighting and combat, MMA and boxing, it is the only sport anywhere except communist countries that is overseen by the government. I mean, when they took Saddam and his kids down, the first thing they did is free the soccer team. Only communist regimes oversee sport, except for the United States in combat. And the reason I bring that to you is it was just so corrupt. The government got involved. You cannot take it easy on a guy. I've heard Floyd try to say that before. I was carrying him for entertainment. Like, that's actually imprisonable. That doesn't happen. But they got this new scam where they're calling it an exhibition. They're selling tickets to an exhibition as opposed to a fight. So what the difference is it looks the same on TV. The commission that oversaw your other fights and even your co-main event gets up and goes in the back. They've now clocked out for the night. You have 3 other judges that are not licensed or real judges, and then you have an announcer just say the conclusion that they came to. The commission will not allow that to happen in the ring. So if you guys happen to see Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., they brought him right outside the ring onto the ramp, and then I think it was a draw, and they raised both of their hands.
Yeah, right.
So that's the theatrics behind that, like that one-word exhibition versus fight. Fight is actually a legal term because it's overseen by the government. I just wanted to share that with you because this is very interesting. I was with Mike Tyson 1 week ago in Saudi Arabia, and I'm sorry for that name drop, but it was a big deal. Like, he's got an aura. When Mike Tyson walked in, I was going to interview him real quick for the PFL with ESPN. It was a real thrill for me. Guys, the first thing I thought is how lean he was.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Yeah, he's ridiculous.
He's opened a gym in Saudi Arabia. I thought they just attached his name to it and he's really out smoking weed all day. But Francis Ngannou was claiming that he's training him. Mike is allegedly at that gym with Francis on a regular basis. I can't confirm any of that, but this is the story, the way they told it 1 week ago, and now all of a sudden you see this announcement.
By the way, Mike's going to be 58 years old at this fight, and Jake's going to be 27.
Holy crap, 30 years.
And can Mike still beat Jake or no? At this, the 30-year difference, Jake gets the edge.
Jake will beat him, but yeah, Mike could go with him.
You think Jake's going to beat Mike Tyson, Chael?
Hey, Jake's the real deal. I mean,
Chael,
No, you're not true. I just beat a 5-time world
beat a
champion.
UFC.
You don't even know. You don't know my ability though. That's
true. That's true.
You don't.
I don't know where you might go. I just give you where I think you're at, which I'm entitled to, which is average. Average is very complimentary to you.
Are you
I was playing with it.
Are you trying to get under his skin at the time? Is it 50-50
probably
trying to get under his skin a little bit?
You know, in that kind of arena, one, it's about entertainment. Yeah. 2, I'm being honest, he's very average as a fighter, as a professional. But what I was trying to sort of explain to him was, as a professional fighter, someone that's dedicated their life to the sport, from most people from the ages of 7 or 8, you started boxing at 24. You are average in that field. That's an unbelievable achievement. Do you know what I mean? I'm not average at boxing. I'm terrible. So you're so much better than me and so many other fighters who have dedicated their life to the sport. And then after a while, it's just about fucking with him a little bit, you know? And you know, me and Jake, I've got a big defamation case against him at the moment. And this week, my fighter, Katie Taylor, greatest female fighter of all time, is fighting his fighter, Amanda Serrano, on that undercard.
Is this the $1 million bet you guys made, or you guys didn't end up making?
No, that was
bet?
before. Yeah, I won the fight, but he didn't apparently make the bet, and you know, whatever. But we won the first fight. This is the rematch this Friday, and it's on the undercard of the Jake Paul.
This the one in Dallas.
Correct, which is a bit awkward because he doesn't really want me there, and I've been quite critical of the main event, but the opportunity came for my fighter to fight on the undercard for a lot of money, and I wasn't gonna, you know, hold her back.
Now, can he say you can't come, or no, you can go to?
Contractually, not really. I mean, they've not been overly helpful.
So what do I think will go down? I'm seeing two possibilities. Either Tyson is going to blitz Jake and end it with a quick knockout. I mean, that's classic Tyson. Or we might see a wild DQ. Yep, you heard that right. Let's not forget who we're dealing with. Tyson's unpredictable. And once he's in that zone, especially with the adrenaline and the crowd, anything can happen. The man's been known to lose control in the heat of the moment, and he said himself he doesn't always know where that switch will take him. So I'm saying there's a chance things could go off the rails if Jake starts to get under Tyson's skin. And if there's one thing we know about Jake, he loves playing mind games.